Okay, today's lesson, I'm going to talk to you about how I found my first two clients as a VA and what I did to find them, and some methods and tips and tricks on how to find your first clients. So you already know who your ideal client is. We've gone over that. That was one of the first lessons. So you should know exactly who you were looking for. And this can change just because you have your ideal client set out in your mind and you've written it down, or you filled out that worksheet and you have a clear idea. That does not mean they're your ideal client forever. I first started working with bloggers. I thought they were my ideal client. And how I found my first two clients, I first worked with a food blogger, and I worked with a travel blogger. She talked about traveling around the world. That was basically her business, and she blogged about it. So I thought my ideal client would be bloggers, and I found two bloggers. And the first travel blogger I found was actually through Craigslist. So that is how I landed my first blogger client. So her rates, I did not negotiate. I just accepted her terms and her rates, and we signed a contract. And I thought it was going to be great. I was earning a specified rate a month. So I was earning a lump sum. And when I first started out, I was, excited to have my first client, and it was great. And I also was working for a food blogger who I found through Facebook. It was through one of those virtual assistant groups where people can advertise they're looking for a VA. So that's how I found those two clients. And I really enjoyed working for the food blogger. I enjoyed what they did, their work, and enjoyed, I was doing social media work for them. So I was doing their email marketing campaigns. I was posting to all of their social media sites. I was doing Pinterest, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and doing email marketing. So I was doing all of that. I was doing similar things for the travel blogger, but I really enjoyed working with my food bloggers more than my travel bloggers. And I think it came down to they were more my ideal client. I enjoyed talking to them more. I synced better with them. The travel blogger I worked with often was not in the same time zone as me, and my food blogger wasn't in the same time zone, but she was located in the States, and she was in California. I lived in Florida, so she was 3 hours behind me, which was fine. It worked out great for me. My travel blogger was often not in the States traveling internationally, which I first saw as not being a problem. It ended up being a problem because there would be times when, we figured out a schedule and I was working for her and doing whatever she needed me to do. But there would be times when I had a question and I wasn't sure how to do something, or there was something new assigned that I thought I knew how to do when I actually didn't know how to do it. And the communication aspect of it really bothered me, because there would be times when she did not have good Wi-Fi. She did not have any Wi-Fi, or she wouldn't have a phone because she was in some little remote place without any of that. And she would just tell me, okay, here's your assigned task for today. I need them done today. And then sometimes I wouldn't get stuff done because I didn't know how to do them, and I wouldn't be able to actually communicate with her. So these are things that you need to think about, working with people in other time zones. Sometimes it's not a big deal. Sometimes you can work when they're sleeping because that's just how your time zones work out. And it works out fine. I've worked for people that it works out okay. But sometimes in instances like that experience that I had, it didn't work out. The other thing, my rate of pay, I did not negotiate because it was my first client and I needed that experience. I needed experience doing, being a VA. So I didn't negotiate my pay. As time went on, I found out that I was getting better at what I was doing, and I could do her task a lot quicker than I thought I could because I was just doing them and getting them done, and I, learned what I needed to do. And my pay never increased. Um, and I was doing things quicker, so I wasn't spending as much time, and I was getting still paid um, monthly. But I was finding that for the amount of time, some weeks things would go by quicker, and it was like I was getting paid for the same amount of work that I was doing regardless. Sometimes my work would end up being longer, and I was still getting paid the same amount monthly. And my hours, if I ended up being shorter, I could say, okay, I only use this many hours a week, and we can move that amount of hours to the next week. And that just it didn't really sit right with me. I figured that, I was getting better with my work, and I was spending less time working with her. And I don't know, my skills were getting better, and my time being spent on those tasks was becoming less. And I thought maybe there would be a slight pay increase, and that just never happened. And I started to find that being a VA and doing the same types of tasks that I was doing over and over for that particular client wasn't going to work out for me. I did not enjoy what I was doing anymore, regardless of the pay. And not having that solid communication was really starting to bug me. Because there were more and more tasks being assigned and more things that I wasn't really sure how to do. And I don't know, it just didn't work out for me. So that was, maybe as much as my fault as hers, I don't know. But that is how I found my first two clients, one through Craigslist and one through a Facebook ad. So hopefully you can let people know that you are, you're a VA, and these are the tasks that you can do, and just kind of let everyone know and be reaching out on Facebook or Twitter or wherever, and let people know what you're doing, and hopefully you can get some referrals from that. Introduce yourself to people and let them know what you're doing, and don't necessarily pitch right away, but just let them know, hey, this is, I'm so-and-so, and this is what I do. It might take a little while to figure out who exactly your ideal client was. I thought I wanted to work with bloggers. I thought that was going to be a great experience, and ended up I don't like working with bloggers. So I've changed who my ideal client is, and I probably won't work with bloggers for a while. I have also realized my time is worth a lot more to me than the money. So you need to figure out your rates and figure out something that is comfortable for you, because when it comes down to it, if you are not working with people that you really enjoy working with, and you're not feeling like you're being paid enough and you're working all the time, it's probably not going to be worth it to you. And that is why I think finding your ideal client is really, really important. You need to find the people and the industries that you really enjoy doing. So even when it gets hard and you don't feel like doing the work, it still excites you. You still feel like you're being valued because you're being paid for your worth. So that is really important. I will include a worksheet to reiterate ways and places you can find your ideal clients and find clients. And, I still really think it comes down to just networking and getting your services out there and sharing who you are, who your blog or who your business is, what your values are, so you can really find your clients and you can find people that you really enjoy working with.